to get paid. And then in basketball, you pay Blake Griffin and you're trapped in Detroit. Or in Washington, you pay John Wall, and 5 years from now, he's going to be making $42 million a year at 33 years old, and he's already had 2 surgeries, and he's hurt again. That's not a win for you. That's a win for Blake Griffin. That's a win for John Wall. That's not a win for you. A win for you is flexibility, that you're not trapped, and a guy gets hurt and you still have to pay him. NBA's got a salary cap. NFL's got a salary cap. Hockey has a salary cap. You don't want to get trapped. But fans are always rooting for the athlete to get paid. No. Root for the team to win negotiations. So they have flexibility. So Le'Veon Bell is a really good running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the best 3 or 4 running backs in football, Pittsburgh Steelers are going to franchise tag him. And he's not happy. Because the last time they franchise tagged him last year, he held out for camp, and then the first few weeks of the year he was rusty. But what the franchise tag really is a win for you, the fan. Because the franchise tag is saying, listen, we like this guy and think he's worth a lot of money. Doesn't matter if it's Kirk Cousins or Le'Veon Bell. What they're telling you is, but there's something about him that we don't want to get trapped. Kirk Cousins, he's just not that great. Le'Veon Bell, he's been suspended twice already, lacks maturity. So Le'Veon Bell came on my show a few months ago, and he's like, I want a long-term deal. I want a long-term deal. Here was Le'Veon Bell in the herd a month ago.
I mean, when I first came here, it was me and DeMarco. Then the next year, me and Zeke. And the next year, me and David Johnson. But every year, I'm always in the conversation. I catch the ball out of the backfield well. I never gave up a sack in my 5 years of playing football. So, I mean, my pass protection speaks for itself. You don't want to have to keep dealing with this situation over and over again. A one-year deal, one-year deal, one-year deal. When you got a long-term deal, it's like you got, security. You got a sense of security. A one-year franchise tag. If I go out there and get hurt first game of the season, I do something drastic. Ryan Shazier, what happened to him? Like, if something like that happened to me on a franchise tag, I don't have no security on the back end.
Okay, so let's stop right there. You made $12 million last year. This franchise tag would pay you $14 million. That's $26 million in 2 years. That is security unless you're buying mansions and horse farms by the truckload. Unless you're addicted to Maseratis and Long Island, and you're just buying the entire Long Island, $26 million in 2 years is financial security. But what a franchise tag is we love you, but we have a concern. He's been suspended twice. Last year, they gave him a franchise tag, and he held out, proving the Steelers' point. We're not sure if he's mature enough unless he gets exactly what he wants. And we all know in football, you don't get exactly what you want. But the Steelers, as Chris Carter said this morning on First Things First, they're making the right move and using the perfect element, the franchise tag, for this player.
He's been suspended, all right? The Steelers have had to deal with him for a number of different things off the field. NFL career since the 70s has been 4.9 years. How many more? And the running backs are less than that. So what is the window for him? We talk about Seattle with their window. Like, what is the window for him from a health standpoint? I think Pittsburgh did the right thing. When you have a Super Bowl quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger and you have the best wide receiver in Antonio, who's being compensated, who just got a contract, you cannot put that percentage of the salary cap in your backfield.
The franchise tag is a win for the fans. The reason football players have to be engaged, if they're not, they're gone. In baseball, Robinson Cano can sign a 10-year deal. Guaranteed. Does he have to be engaged? In the NBA, John Wall, Blake Griffin, Chandler Parsons get monster contracts. What's the motivation? Le'Veon Bell says, I want security. $26 million is security unless you become addicted to mansions. He is a great player, but the concerns are maturity and health. And last year they franchised him, and to prove their concerns were right, he held out of camp. Players see this as a negative, But if you are being paid $26 million in 2 years, unless you're LeBron, Michael Jordan, or Brady, you are being reasonably compensated. The win for the fans is not in player wealth. They're going to get theirs. The win for you has always been in team flexibility. Win for the Steelers. All right, let's shift gears. So when LeBron James and Kyrie Irving together, they were great. And then Kyrie left and said, I'm tired of LeBron. And so they made a deal with Boston and they got Isaiah Thomas. And we knew that Kyrie and LeBron had their issues. And then LeBron and Isaiah Thomas had their issues. And then the natural inclination is, LeBron is hard to deal with. Kyrie didn't like him, and now Isaiah Thomas didn't like him. That LeBron guy, I'm telling you, nobody can get along with him. That's what I read from all the articles. Because Isaiah Thomas had a great story. He's 5'8". He's last guy drafted. Nobody believes in him. The tragedy in his family with his sister. He is a great story. That doesn't make him a great player or a great teammate. So last night's a prime example. The Lakers playing very well. In fact, I think before last night, they were like 8-0 in Lonzo Ball's last 8 starts. They're playing Portland, and they played very, very well. Damian Lillard, by the way, for the Portland Trail Blazers, who's a tremendous player, was absolutely filthy in the fourth quarter. He scored 15 straight points. He was off the chain. The Lakers couldn't stop him. He's just a great player, and he was absolutely in a groove. Damian Lillard was. Easily the best player on the floor. So Isaiah Thomas, Lakers had this big lead. They had this massive lead last night. They had this very comfortable lead last night. 97-86, 5 minutes left. And it all dried up because Isaiah Thomas said, well, their guard is getting his, I'm going to get mine. And he ended up going 5 for 21. He was atrocious late, 1 for 9 on threes. And Isaiah essentially last night got lost in Isaiah Thomas. He actually, his name IT is now ironic. He doesn't fix anything. So here's what happened at the end of the game when the Blazers made a mistake, fouled Isaiah late. Here's what happened.
You could win the game. You make this free throw, you get a shot, you could actually win the game. Well, Isaiah's been clutch as a Laker, and he's short. He missed it. Isaiah missed it.
Well, you're talking about short arming it. It barely got to the front of the rim. So we're right back to where we were.
Right where we started. Lonzo, again, got to get it in. In trouble. Lobs it in for Lopez. He has it. Lakers, Isaiah. Strip. Portland's got it. They're going to win the game.
Bad last 30 seconds for Isaiah Thomas. The story was LeBron is difficult to play with. Let me throw something on the screen. As Isaiah Thomas was trying to show the world, I'm the equal to Damian Lillard last night. Here's Isaiah Thomas's career with Brad Stevens on the left and without Brad Stevens on the right. This is not, nor was it ever, a LeBron issue. Dude is hard to play with. He was hard to play with in Sacramento. He was hard to play with in Phoenix. He was hard to play with in Cleveland. And now he's hard to play with in Los Angeles. This team had the game. The Lakers won last night. It was over. 8-point lead, 5 to go. And Isaiah Thomas decided, Damian Lillard's taken off and taken over. I'm going to do it too. Nah. Isaiah Thomas, great story, marginal player. They lost last night because Isaiah Thomas was incredibly, incredibly difficult to play with. It was never the LeBron issue. It was the IT issue. Coming up next, I had a beer last night with a very, very smart football coach in the NFL. And 99% of the conversation I can't tell you about. But I can tell you about 1 to 2% of the conversation. And I asked this coach, who is really good friends with Bill Belichick, also Pete Carroll, Sean McVay. I asked him a question about Belichick, and it was a really interesting answer. And that is coming up next. National Small Business Month. By the way, your economy's as good as the small businesses that are flourishing within your economy. And National Small Business Month at LegalZoom is here. Whether you're just starting out or already have a business, there's a lot you can take advantage of. Right now, they have the LegalZoom.com/startup during March to download their free business startup kit. Tons of information. It's free. Maximizing tax laws, which are brand new under Trump. Great discounts, special deals, offers from their service partners so you can save money on financing, marketing, and operating your business. LegalZoom has never been a law firm, but they know how to tap into right resources to run your business successfully. Okay, LegalZoom. Right now, free business startup kit at LegalZoom.com. Go to LegalZoom.com/startup. LegalZoom.com/startup. Where life meets legal. LegalZoom.com/startup.
A Miami Cuban was slow